Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today we're going to review a fragrance from the house of Hugo Boss that was released way back in 1995. We're talking about Hugo by Hugo Boss. Now this is the original, the EDT. This is the one that started all of the flankers. There are dozens and dozens of Hugo Boss flankers and they're all over the place, and this really was the original one that kind of started it all. As you can see from the picture of the bottle, that's the picture. Most people know it, especially if you kind of grew up in the same age or age range that I did. This came out essentially in the beginning of high school for me. So this fragrance is a little bit well known. It's a sort of iconic fragrance within the community, but you know, it's been around for a long time and I'm doing the review on it now. Let's see if it actually holds up to the test of time. Now the fragrance is available in a ton of different sizes. It's available in 50 milliliter, 100 milliliter, double that, 200 milliliter. There are so many variations of this bottle that are sitting out there. You can generally pay between $20 and $40 for this bottle at this point. So do some searching around. You also want to be careful because this is one that is duplicated. It's heavily counterfeited, so you want to be very careful when purchasing this fragrance. If you can, purchase it from an authorized retailer. They have a higher chance of it being the genuine article. Now without any further ado, let's go ahead and get right into the fragrance. Now the notes of the fragrance are listed on screen. The biggest takeaway with this one is, this is one of those first scents that I remember having that apple vibe. The apple vibe mixes in with a minty vibe to it that comes into it, and a spicy vibe. It's a whole bunch of spices that are kind of up in the scent. I can detect a little bit of basil in this, but it's really apple and mint that's just mixed up together. Now, in terms of the actual smell itself, it is a little bit synthetic smelling, and you really want to be careful about spraying too much because this is one of those fragrances where you spray too much on it, you're going to wind up with a headache easily. And even if you don't, after a little bit amount of time on your skin, you do, I do at least, start to develop a little bit of a headache vibe to it. This is one of those fragrances, to be honest, that turned me off to fresh-smelling scents that were released back in the day. I had smelled this and a couple others, and they ended up giving me headaches, and I didn't like them. I thought they smelled a little bit too manufactured, if you will, and I could pick up on that even when I wasn't a huge fragrance aficionado or a huge fragrance fan, if you will. So as the fragrance begins to finally, die down, you start to get more of a woodsy scent, and it becomes a clean, woodsy type of a scent. In the beginning, it also kind of has like this clean vibe to it. So it's a green apple, cleanish type of a vibe, and it dries down, has a little bit of woods, and heavily spiced up to the point where they're really kind of screaming at you, right? This is one that I would wear either to work or casually. Those are the only two areas. And to work, I would be just a little bit careful because it's a little bit too spicy and sharp for my taste for work. Even though I generally tend to like sharp fragrances. It's a fragrance that you can wear all year round. It's a fragrance that can easily be worn for a younger person or an older person. Doesn't matter what the age range is, they can go ahead and pull this one off. The performance on this one is rather decent. It lasts between 6 and 8 hours, but that green apple note is going to go away after about 3-4 hours of it, and you're going to be left with like a spicy, woodsy type of a scent. That's still clean, but that's the scent that you're going to be left with. And compliments, I did not get any compliments with this fragrance. However, I do remember there were friends that I had at the time who had this scent, and they did get compliments. Now, granted, this was in high school, and obviously the game has changed so much since then, and take with it what you will, but I did not have people compliment me now. They thought that it smelled nice, but I did not garner any compliments with this fragrance. So if I'm going to go ahead and give this fragrance a rating, I give this fragrance a rating 2 out of 5 stars. Now, the only reason why I'm actually even giving it a good amount of stars is it's still iconic. It still is a fragrance that, kind of helped jumpstart the fragrance men's game, if you will. The reasons why it does not get a high rating, obviously, is it's a little bit too synthetic. If you want a fragrance like this, a fresh fragrance, a clean fragrance, there are just so many different, better variations for it. But the other thing that's helping it score, obviously, is its cheap price. Or its inexpensive price. So at the end of the day, it's a below average fresh scent that you can find much better options for with it. All right, so that's pretty much it. Let me know what your thoughts are on this scent. I know some of you probably have comments just because this is something that many people have smelled in the past, and it is the prototype of a lot of the flankers. I love many of the Hugo Boss fragrances. This just does not happen to be one of them. All right, thank you guys. Take care of yourselves, and you guys have a great day.